everybody. Welcome back to Team Dinner. I'm Jack Maloney, and today my guest is Paul Barker. Paul, thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
And we are, of course, eating Pauli's. What else will we have today?
Oh my God, we brought some great sandwiches. Of course, we're known for our delicious sandwiches and our famous lobster rolls. So we brought you one of our famous lobster rolls. It's overstuffed, and it's one of the top reviewed lobster rolls in the city of Boston. We're usually number one on all the lists. And then we got one of our famous sandwiches. It's called the Politician, which is chicken cutlet, prosciutto, fresh mozzarella, basil, tomato, and it's just like a delicious concoction of ingredients.
I'm having a little bit of everything. So let's start with the lobster roll, because I think you are known both in the city and nationally, right? I think you have you started this shipping business, right? Where you kind of ship to folks nationally?
We do. If you can't come into Pauli's, we ship right across the country, 48 states.
Unbelievable.
Next day delivery. You can have a 4-pack. You can have an 8-pack. You can make it right at home in your own house. It's actually like something that people love, because if they can't make it to Pauli's, they're like, oh, that's a great idea if I can't make it back, or for a present.
Yeah,
so if you want to send somebody a birthday present, special occasion, that type of thing, and it's really like blown up since we started that business.
That's awesome. I mean, without giving up any trade secrets, what are the logistics of like that? Is it kind of flash frozen, or is it dry ice, kind of frozen, sold overnight, and they come?
So basically, lobster meat's flash frozen.
Yeah.
We ship it in a cooler.
Cool.
With ice, and it's just like I said. Next day, it's at your doorstep, and you're ready to make lobster rolls.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Well,
take a bite. Tell me what you think.
Listen. Spoiler. I have had this before.
Yeah.
It is excellent.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
It's excellent. Oh, too big of a bite.
It's good, isn't it?
It's fantastic. It is fantastic. It is fresh. It is light in all the ways it should be. Mm-hmm. It really is an excellent lobster roll.
I think what separates Pauli's with the lobster rolls is, and you can see, is the amount of lobster meat that we put in a sandwich.
Yeah.
The freshness that you talked about, which is the meat, and also the bread. So basically, bread comes in. We have bread delivered on a daily basis. Our lobster meat is all it's all sourced locally, New England, Canada, all North Atlantic. It's fresh, that's what people taste when they bite into it, and that's the way we make it.
Yeah.
The way we prepare it is a little bit different than most people. So if you notice, it's filled with lobster meat. There's no fillers.
That's
so
right.
You're not tasting lettuce. And I think when you bite into a lobster roll, you want to taste the lobster meat.
That's right.
And people, they come up to the counter, and I love seeing them on their smiling face, tell me how good it was, and it was just so delicious, and they were like, they were coming back, and it met or exceeded their expectations. But that's basically what it is the ingredients and the freshness. But like I said, when I was just talking about the way we prepare, it's very simple. So we don't use fillers like onions or lettuce or spices like tarragon. We don't use a lot of mayo, as you can see.
Yeah.
So we use
very
light mayo. We use stock from the lobster. It's a lot of flavor.
Yeah.
And then we also have the same lobster roll. It's tossed in butter. So you can have it tossed in butter. But I'm not. If you said I know you had been to Pauli's.
Yeah.
And we have different sizes too.
Yep.
So he's like, we have different sizes for anybody. If you're looking for a bigger lobster roll, we have a lobster sub, which is twice as much lobster. It's in a 12-inch Italian roll that we also grill like a hot dog roll. And then we have the USS Lobstitution, which is it's a 2-foot sandwich. And it's a chuckle, but it's like people come in, they love it. We sell a lot of them every day, and people love to take photos with it.
Yeah.
And like it's 2-foot, it's filled with meat, and we thought it was a good play on our local heritage.
That's right.
So those are things we offer, and then we also have we have a catering size.
Yep.
Lobster roll. It's for about 50 to 60 people. It's called Lobzilla, and it feeds about 50 to 60 people. And it's filled with like 15 to 17 pounds of lobster meat in a 6-foot long roll.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You know what I love is I will gladly pay market price for good seafood anywhere. What I love is it it's packed, right?
Right.
I think a lot of times, you go, the price of seafood is up. You pay, whatever it is,
Right.
and you get like 2 ounces of lobster
Right, right.
in the roll, and it's
Right.
like, I don't know if this is quite worth it for me.
And I
So,
think that's another thing that we try to separate ourselves. We want quality.
Yep.
We want you to be happy. We want to exceed your expectations.
Yep.
And so that basically, so it's quality. Make sure there's plenty of lobster meat in there.
Yeah.
And and I think that basically just sells itself. And I think one of the things about Pauli's is we don't do much advertising. It's mostly all word of mouth. And that's how that's how we've gotten our name out there, is just because we basically provide a great product.
yeah. Yeah. And so I guess my question is, if we can go back in time a little bit. So you come from a food family, right? I think you have multi-generational ties to the North
Yep,
End.
yep.
And I think that the surrounding region as well. How did you, when you were setting out in this venture, I think it was almost 15 years ago now, right? My math is right. How did you? I think you have a lot of experience in different types of cuisine.
Yep.
What was it about kind of the Pauli's menu, the sandwiches, the kind of maybe a little bit more casual, approachable? Like what was it about this kind of concept that you were like, this is it for me. This is what I want to be doing.
Okay, so you know what? Like you said, I have a lot of experience in the food business. I grew up. I was 7 years old, going to work with my family in an Italian deli in Boston's North End. On weekends, on holidays, I was outside with my nonno, my grandfather.
Yeah.
We had outside of the deli. We had a stand. We sold olives, nuts, all sorts of Italian imported items.
Yeah.
So I got an indoctrination into that.
Yeah.
And then my mom had a sit down fine dining restaurant, and I learned how to cook. And I learned. I just had just such a love for it.
Sure.
But also, what I also had a love for was for people.
Yeah.
So I grew up working with my grandfather, waiting on customers at 7 years old, working in a restaurant while I was in college. After college, a second job, going to help my mom in the restaurant. I would work 1 or 2 nights as a cook to help out, and I just really had this love and passion for it. So I think that fueled my desire to open up Pauli's. And so basically we were looking for an investment, and I was looking for something a little bit different.
Yeah.
We have an Italian flair. Pauli's also offers Italian pastas
Yep.
and food, and we make homemade sauces, my mother's homemade sauce. But we were looking to do something that was a little bit different.
Yeah.
We wanted to be. We wanted to be the sandwich shop,
Yeah.
not just a sandwich shop.
Yeah.
We wanted to provide something that was affordable. So basically, you want to go with your girlfriend.
Yep.
You're getting off a plane. You don't want to wait in line. You wanted something quick for you. You work in the office. Something like before a Celtics or a Bruins
Yeah.
game. You want to go in there quick, grab a sandwich, or like a lobster roll with your
Sure.
friends.
Perfect.
So something like that. And so we wanted. Our whole motive was to do something that was fun, that was going to be different, and we wanted to be the best, and we wanted to be iconic. I put myself up there with Mike's Pastry. Can I
Yeah,
say that?
of course.
Or Modern Pastry, or Bova's, and Umberto's, and and we talked about Regina, all friends of mine, and they're just iconic, and they just stand out for what they do. So that was one of the motives.
Yeah, and I know those places you mentioned, they get a lot of tourism, and I know you do as well, right? And are you seeing people in the store kind of coming from all over the world? Is this like people make their way? I know the North End is such a hub for tourism, but has that been kind of an interesting piece of this to see the
It's always interesting because
Yeah.
we have, like our fan base is so spread out, and we can have local people that come there every day, every night. They go to regular
Yeah.
with their go-to regular sandwiches,
Yeah.
and you basically it's only 14 seats, but basically we have firemen that come in, the mayor comes in.
Yep.
We've got local celebrities. national celebrities that come in. So basically, you could just be you could be sitting next to the mayor. You could be sitting next to one of our. There's a few Patriots players that come in all the time. The Bruins players, Celtics players, and you could be sitting next to them, or firemen, or just so someone who's working from home.
Yep.
Or just like a retired North Ender.
Yeah.
And so I love that because we get to meet so many people, and I love people. I love talking to people. My staff likes talking to people.
Yeah.
I mean, that's part of it. Is basically is making people people happy with what they choose, and as simple as a sandwich. But it's so important, right? And we love that they come back.
Yeah.
I was like, we have people that come back day after day.
Yeah.
They come back for their regular sandwiches. We know them by name. We have people that come back every time they come to Boston.
Yeah.
They got to stop in Pauli's
Yeah.
and get their fix, whether it's a sandwich or a lobster roll. So that's fun. And then catching up with people.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on? How's the
Yeah.
family? How's work? How's your favorite sports team doing?
Right.
Boom.
Right.
Yeah, we love that. I love that.
I think what I think what you're saying in a part, right, is like, I think as Boston changes, as cities change, right, and as more money comes in and certain people that had been there are priced out or moved, what I think you hear people say is that community might be harder to come by, right? That there's maybe more tenants, less owners, less you lose maybe some of the connection that a neighborhood has, right?
Right.
And I think what you're doing in a lot of ways is trying to, or you are maintaining that community, right? Maintaining a place where everyone kind of comes in. It's like what you said: the mayor, a firefighter, and a Celtics player might be sitting next to each other, right? And and I think that's really important, right? Because when we lose places like that, then what what's left? There's not much.
Well, yeah, like we personalize things. We like you to come in to feel at home, sit down. This is basically Pauli's is like you're sitting at our table. What would you like? It's that type of place. It's and I think it's always hectic. People are coming in and out, and it's just like we have people just getting off a plane from Korea, from Italy, from California, from Texas, and just like, and they're like, hey, I had to come in. Hey, we're gonna stop back on the way back. Gotta get you one more time.
I love
we
it.
start talking. So we love that. Yeah, we do love that personalization and that sense of community.
Yeah.
So whether it's we see a few times a year, we see every day.
Yeah,
we love it.
I love that.
Yeah.
And then I guess a question I have is, so the menu, I think you have the lobster, right? The politician. I think you have these fan favorites, these staples. I know the Italian is quite popular. How do you manage introducing new items versus kind of like maintaining those tried and true favorites that everyone loves? What's that process
To be honest with you, we really haven't done a good job. That's why we have over 50 sandwiches. so we put things on, but we'll try things for special times of the year.
Yeah.
Like for instance, the politician. That was an election sandwich that we tried. I think it was 13 years ago, and that's just like gone crazy.
Yeah.
And it's a big popular item. There's certain ones that we might just do for like one day, whether it's it's Cinco de Mayo Day or something. We're always trying to do something fun. We like to be creative, do fun things, but to your point, we've added more sandwiches. We've come up with ideas. We have our customers come up with ideas,
That's awesome.
and then it's hard to take them off because they become so popular.
Yeah.
So we have like a sandwich. They want to change the sauce, so it's like it's a chicken cutlet with bacon and provolone, and I don't want ranch dressing. Can I have honey mustard?
Yeah.
Of course. So we did that for a few people, and we're noticing how popular it is. So then we try it out, and then that sandwich became the killer bee.
Yeah.
So basically, we try different things out. It's hard to take them off when they become fan favorites. I always have pushback on when talking to my employees. I was like, hey, can we take this one off? Oh.
Yeah.
Can't. Mario loves that
Yeah.
sandwich.
Yeah, Mario.
We can't take that sandwich out. What about this one? No, we can't take that one. And I was like, Frank,
Yeah.
that's Frank's go-to. And I'm like, okay,
that.
all right. And we sell a lot of them.
Yeah.
So it's a little trial and error. It's a little hard sometimes, but that's why we have such an extensive sandwich menu.
That's a great answer.
We find it's very hard to. It's very hard to like.
Because the
to take 'em
sandwiches
away.
they end up
Yeah.
meaning more, right?
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
there's a person
Yeah,
that
yeah.
always orders it, and so
Yeah.
it's not about removing a sandwich, right? It's about impacting that
Right,
person.
and that's what we're all about.
Yeah.
Right, we're all about people.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Do you know that the women of Boston the young women of Boston are very interested in finding the best chicken Caesar wrap? It's barely on my radar, but I've been seeing it's more and more posted, and I want to call out that you guys have an excellent chicken Caesar wrap.
Okay.
And yeah,
Ladies, come to Pauli. That's what I'm gonna say. We have the best chicken Caesar wrap.
it is fantastic.
So we do. We have a great chicken Caesar wrap. Obviously, it starts with the chicken, and you can have it two ways. You can have a crispy chicken, regular chicken, but we also make homemade garlic croutons. And I think that's really important. You just when you bite in, you taste that. Yeah, the guys just do a good job. And I think the sandwiches are full, and that's another thing. So basically, it's just well made. Sometimes I look over it and I'm like, you know what? We don't even measure anything. It's just like it has to be more than enough. So guys, like they fill up the sandwich, and I think the chicken Caesar is the best. So ladies, come out. Pauli's is the best place
That's right.
for chicken Caesar wrap.
That's right.
Okay.
Women of Boston, you've
Okay.
heard
Yes.
on TikTok.
Yeah.
Pauli's chicken Caesar wrap. It is incredible. Go as fast as you possibly can. Great. And then, I think another question is just, like about the location, right? So you have, I think, you mentioned you Celtics players, Bruin players. You see a lot of traffic coming from the Garden. Is that just sort of, I know people kind of spill out of there before and after. And,
I think the whole North End does, right? I have a lot of friends. They have these beautiful restaurants in the North End, and I don't want to be remiss and not name them all.
Yeah.
But they're all great, and we like to go to them. And I think the TD Garden, Celtics, and then even the Red Sox.
Yeah.
Like all of the teams.
Yeah.
People come in for Patriots game to come watch a Patriots game. They come from out of town to watch a game. I think that all helps. And but to your point, being close to the Garden does help.
Yeah.
Because it's just such an influx of people, and anything that's going on in and around Boston. If we have a regatta, or we have like City Hall Plaza, we just did the opening night for the. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah.
You saw
Yeah.
the Celtics. And we did that. By the way, we got to meet the host of. We were on stage with the host, bringing them our lobster rolls.
That's fantastic.
Inside the NBA. But
Yeah.
all that stuff does help. I think the close proximity to events like the TD Garden and all around the city really it helps all of us, and helps all the restaurants too, not just the North End.
Yeah.
It's bringing Back Bay, Seaport. It's helping them all. It's helping everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how have you seen, I think there's a number of ways I can only imagine, but, how have you seen the North End kind of adapt over your lifetime, certainly since you've had businesses there. And I think, for better or worse, things change, right? And I guess how have you seen it change, and kind of what have been some of the favorite parts for you of spending so much time in the North End over the last however many years?
Okay, so I've been working in the North End since I was 7. As I told you, working with my grandfather and my uncle and my father, and it's definitely changed dramatically.
Yeah.
But starting at 7, I'm 61 years old.
Yeah.
It's 54 years walking up and down those streets. It really has changed. So back then, my family owned a restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
They owned a supermarket. They owned a deli, and the North End was just filled with bakeries. Bakeries that specialize in bread, which we don't see anymore. There was a lot of meat markets. There were many more delis. There's a few more pastry shops. It was less restaurants. And then a lot of the retail changed, and restaurants started popping up,
Right.
and that became the new attraction. So I think in the year back 50 years ago, 40 years ago, 30 years ago, we were attracting local people. A lot of Italian immigrants and their families love to shop in the North End. Now we're attracting tourists that love the Italian culture,
Yeah.
and and they love the experience. And so those stores and that have been replaced with restaurants, and it's different. And I've seen where basically where Salem Street was a very vibrant, very vibrant street, and Hanover has become a strong
Yeah.
street, in Prince Street, and we have restaurants all over the North End. It's just great. It has changed, and I think it's changed for the better. I think we always say that, and I think we are one of the best little Italys in the whole country,
Yeah.
and people love to come here because we have the Italian culture, we have the history, we have the food, we also have colonial history there. It's just a great place to come and visit and experience.
Yeah, I think that's right. I like your approach, right? In that, like, it has gone. The restaurants. It's kind of probably mirrored like our society, our culture, right? Is that like the sort of small shops, can unfortunately be replaced, right, by a bigger shop, by a supermarket, whatever it is, right? And not that I love that, but that's probably a reality. Whereas the restaurant you can't replace, right?
Yeah.
The restaurant is unique. People don't want to go to some chain restaurant in the North End. That would be so disingenuous, right? So I think that's exactly right, or that's an interesting take, I should say, because it's the thing about the neighborhood that cannot be replaced is what has like remained and flourished in a way.
Right. I think, and we're just going back to personalization, is that people want to go. They have their favorite restaurants. They want to go see Frank.
Yeah.
They want to go see Nick.
Yeah.
They want to go see Tony. They want to see Paul. They
Yeah.
want to go to Mike's. They want to go to Bo's.
Right.
So these are the type of things that have grown. But it's also an extension of we've grown. So we've grown from basically little shops that could be replaced, that you could find those items outside of the North End.
Right.
Now we have something that basically that you can't find outside. You could find Italian food, but you can't find the whole the ambiance, the history, what I love about the North End. We have over 100 restaurants, and like one restaurant is different from another restaurant, and they specialize in one thing or another. And if we talk about like, where would you go to? I like this restaurant because they make they really stand out for this dish, or I like this bakery because they stand out for this pastry. So I think that makes it very unique.
Yeah.
And you have a lot of unique places in the North End.
Yeah. So here's a question, and I understand if you can't answer it because you don't want to, because you've mentioned so many, I think, friends and you have your friends that are business owners, right? But if you had a special occasion, and you were celebrating for one night at one restaurant in the North End.
Oh, we're gonna have a lot of enemies on this.
So I understand. Is there one that you would pick? No. Yeah.
No.
It's too many. How about a couple? Is there a couple you could name?
Geez, you know what? I love, for a very, very special occasion, I love Mama Maria's. It's a great place. And this, you know what? I love Arias. Another great place. I love Saraceno's. Saraceno's. But also, it's like I love all the restaurants. I love Frank DiPasquale's restaurant. I like Nick's. I like Carmelina's. I like there's so many. El Dente, Benconto. It's people ask me, and I'm like, let's go try another. We'll try a new restaurant. I haven't been to so and so's restaurant, and I've never been let down.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, Pagliuca's. I mean, I'm just gonna be remiss if I leave people out and hope nobody's mad because they're all good. I've been to all of them. Yeah.
I can see you were even to ask the question. I think I pained you, and I can see you
you
racking
made me
your.
cringe, and I'm like, And I was like, 5 people are gonna basically say, "How can lemon jellos?"
Yeah.
I was like, I love them all.
No, it's a tough question. I felt bad asking. I had to ask, right? Because mostly I'm gonna now start just going make sure I hit everyone you've just
Yeah, I've
listed.
just been left off a few people's cookout lists. So.
Yeah,
Thank you. Yeah.
So I think that makes perfect sense. And then I have just a couple, I think, kind of questions that are sort of fun and these are designed to, I think maybe knock you out of your comfort zone a little bit, right? So I think one question would be, if you remove Italian food and seafood, which are everyone's top 2 choices, what do you think Boston, Massachusetts, what kind of cuisine do you think is done really well here? Because everyone says Italian and seafood, so I have to remove those from the list.
I say Latino. We're
Yeah.
exploding. I think I was talking to you earlier about East Boston, Chelsea. There's some great Salvadoran, Colombian.
Yep.
After graduate school, I worked in Venezuela for 8 months. Fell in love with the culture, and I love the Latino food.
Yeah.
I think Latino food is just it's really like taking off. And a lot of Asian food. I see it, but I haven't really experienced it as much. So I have my go-to Asian restaurants, but I've been wanting to taste more of Korean, Korean and other types of foods other than the Japanese and Chinese foods, Asian foods that I do. But I would just say the Latino foods. It is growing, and I think it's gonna just like continue to grow.
I agree.
It reminds me of like a lot of the places that I go to is Latino street have like Latino street food and that type of vibe, and with Salvador pupusas and empanadas and chicharron, which is have you ever had chicharron?
Yeah.
So it's like all this stuff. Chicharron I used to have in Venezuela.
Yeah.
That's like they sell it on the side of the roads.
Yeah.
And Italian like a Latino bacon. But all that stuff, and I used to see that. That's going to more develop. I love Brazilian. There's one. I don't think I've met a Brazilian steakhouse that I don't like. So I love all that stuff, and I love that Boston's becoming more of a melting pot for all the different cuisines. Yeah.
I think you nailed it. I think I agree entirely. I think the Brazilian food, Medford, but in you go to like Everett, up to Malden. I think there's really, really good Brazilian options. You really can't go wrong, right? With the sauces and steaks and chickens and rice and fresh bread. It's like
awesome.
and
Fresh,
vegetables. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And I agree too. I think the Latin American food, right? You go up. I think you said Revere is great. Chelsea is fantastic. You go up to Lynn, really, really good food up in Lynn. I think people pass over Lynn and they don't give it the credit it deserves. I think there's a lot of good kind of little hole in the wall Italian places up there as well. I think I just think Lynn has got good food.
I have to make my way up there. I don't really know Lynn too much.
It's good.
Yeah, you have to do a segment on that.
I will. It is below the radar, right?
Yeah.
But I think Lynn Lynn's great.
Oh, cool. I hope to try that out.
Yeah. And so I guess another question would be, this is again designed to knock you off you're out of your comfort zone. And I think I may know where you're going to say, because I think we've already talked about this. But if you can't say the North End, what neighborhood or part of Boston do you think has the best food?
Oh, has the best food.
Yeah.
Okay.
The general quality of the food is the best. You have to remove the North End from the equation.
I'll tell you. I'll tell you where I would live if I didn't live in the North
fair.
End. I would live in the West End because it has access to Back Bay, the TD Garden, the North End. So that's one place that's a place that I would love to live in someday. And as far as food, in the city or just in
we could go towns. You could cities and towns anywhere. If there's a place that you think you just get dropped off randomly and you got to pick a spot, what's your best chance of getting a good meal?
I'd have to say East Boston.
That's what I thought you were going to say. Yeah.
Spending a lot of time in East Boston.
Yeah.
They've got great Asian food. They've got great Latino
Yeah.
street food.
Mexican food's
They have
fantastic.
They
Yeah.
have Mexican food. They have Brazilian food. They have Italian food. There's some great Italian restaurants that I love to go to. There's a great there's a great pizza place that
Yeah.
you know that I love to go to.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a great there's a fantastic Italian restaurant that I love. It's just like everything's all homemade. And,
Yep.
yeah. So I would say yeah, East Boston.
I think that's a good choice.
Yeah.
I think East Boston is really good.
Yeah.
All right, so I think as you sit here, I think you the success you've had with Pauli's, both from the storefront, from the the shipping to the tourism to kind of all of it. Is there anything you see out there that you're like, I want to do that next? I want to grow Pauli's in this direction or that direction, or is it continuing to just like what you said before, like continuing to just kind of block and tackle and serve the community in the ways that it has? I guess like what is what does Pauli's look like in 3, 5, 10 years in your opinion?
I think every day we want to make Paulie's better.
Yeah.
We want the food to be better. We want to come up with new and creative ideas for Paulie's. We want to make it better, and and that's why we've constantly, even though we have our core, we've evolved our menu, but it's pretty much stayed to the core. But we've improved and taking customer suggestions and my employees. I have to tell you. Paul's has the best employees in the city of Boston. I love my employees. We have very little turnover. They love what they do. We're always looking for ways. They know the customers, and they're always looking for ways to make improvements. But the point is, what do we? It's interesting that you say what do we want to do, and so I just having this discussion with my wife, talking to. We're also talking to consultants for some input, get some ideas. We're looking at expansion of a location, maybe 2. We're also looking at expanding our online business. For instance, like we get lots of questions, like lots of asked all the time is, can we get some of your sandwiches delivered? And trying to make that, we're looking at how would we deliver the ingredients in an effective way where basically it tastes just as fresh when they open up, just like when they do a lobster roll. So we're looking at that, and then we're putting together our plan, which is for 1 year out, 5 years out, 10 years out. And what that's going to look like. So we are thinking about all those ideas.
I love it.
And then, like, on a regular basis, where I said we want to improve, but we're also always coming up with new ideas. We want to try different things. We want to make it fun. I think one of the things is we always want to make it interesting for our customers, but we also we're trying different things. So we always have a fries of the month.
Yeah.
So we're different, and it's like it's so crazy. People are like, what are the fries of the month this month? So we've had garlic palm fries. We have chicken palm fries. We're currently working on Thanksgiving fries.
I love that.
Like with gravy and cranberry sauce, craisins, and stuffing, and mixed in with French fries. And so the thing is, I'm always like on a path to try and lose weight, but it's hard to lose weight.
It's hard.
Basically, we have to try everything, and everything has to be good before we actually can even put it out there. So it's always like this trial and error thing. And I'm like, my wife's always asking me, how'd you do with your diet today? Not so good, Tim. Not so good.
I have a hard enough time just not ordering something, let alone not being in the kitchen while it's being made. So I sympathize with you on that.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
Well, that sounds. I'm very happy to hear that. I'm happy to hear that the wheels are always turning, right? Both in the short term and the long term. And I think that's exciting. And I think more Pauli's in the world is we only benefit from that, right?
Right. Absolutely. And I think, like we said, we're always trying to do something. We're saying something interesting. If you just like segue, like we have a sandwich right here. It's called the Skinny Vinny. So basically, we were looking for an item that was basically it's more vegetarian, and a lot of people will order this in a wrap, and and you get fresh eggplant, fresh mozzarella, roasted peppers, homemade like a homemade pesto sauce, and just it's a different type of eggplant sandwich.
Yeah.
And we tried different things and we put it on the menu. All of a sudden, it starts blowing up.
Right.
It doesn't always happen that way, but those are the type of things that we try to do.
Yeah.
Just try to keep it interesting. Try to look for new things. Try to make and the reason why we came up with this is geez, we were looking for a sandwich. We have sandwiches that meet people's expectations for a non-meat or a non-chicken.
Yeah.
So we're always trying to like listen to the customer
Yeah.
and tell us what they want. So we try to hopefully hit the nail on the head on those type of things.
I love that. So you're taking kind of a classic idea and retooling it for what someone wants here in 2024, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, Paul, this has been wonderful. The food is excellent. I thank you for coming by. I thank you for feeding us. It's been wonderful. Thank you so much, and please come back anytime.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we'll swing by. We'll pick this all up. And for those of you at watching this at home, if you're in Boston, you got to swing by. And if you're not, you order online. It'll get delivered.
You get delivered,
Yeah.
or if you're far away, you can have it shipped to you.
That's
Or
right.
If you're looking for a good present for a birthday or a special occasion, or Christmas is coming up.
Holidays coming
right?
up, yeah.
Exactly.
All right.
We
Wonderful.
get lobster rolls to ship across the country.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Paul, thank you.
Thank you for having me.